Hello everyone, welcome back all to this channel. So today I'll be taking you all through the production planning module in SAP, right? So in the previous sessions we understood about material management module, which is tagged to procurement business process in SAP, and likewise we also spoke or we understood about sales and distribution piece with respect to sales and distribution module. And today we'll be speaking more about production planning piece, right, which is related to the production business activity. So today I'll be taking you all through the production planning process in SAP. So just to understand about the production planning, what is production planning? To put it in crisp and short, it is nothing but manufacturing of end products or process of converting raw materials to semi-finished goods and semi-finished goods to finished goods, right? So this can be achieved with the help of available resources like space, machinery, time, labor, tools, etc. So with this context, let's try to understand the components of production planning. So the first component of production planning in SAP is master data, right? So what is this master data? Master data is nothing but the data which is helped or useful for creating the transactional data, right? So what all formulates or what all becomes part of master data? The first one is material master. Material master is nothing but it contains the information about different types of materials or articles like finished goods, semi-finished goods, raw materials, etc. So that's with respect to the material master. Then comes the work center. Work center is nothing but it contains the place or a physical location where machinery are set up. Work center consists of master data related to routing of products. It contains data related to scheduling, capacity planning, and production costing, right? Now coming back to the BOM is nothing but bill of material. Bill of material is another type of master data which is used in production planning module. It is nothing but the list of components used to produce a product, right? So generally when we produce a finished goods, we need lot many components to produce that finished goods, right? So BOM or bill of material is nothing but the list of components or products which are used to produce a certain output, right? So that's with respect to BOM. And coming back to routing is nothing but the sequence of activities which is performed at the work center, right? So routing plays an important role in calculating the production cost, machine time, and labor. Then comes the production version, right? So production version is nothing but it's a production process used for planned or the production orders. We can use the production versions based on lot size, quantity, BOM explosion dates based on the MRP group. MRP is nothing but material requirement planning group, right? So what is production version? Just to put it in short, it is nothing but one of the master data component in SAP, which consists of both BOM and routing activity. BOM, as we discussed above, BOM is nothing but list of all the components which are consumed to convert a raw material into a finished good, and then routing is nothing but the material which consists of list of all the activities which needs to be done to produce a certain product, right? So that is nothing but production version. Now coming back to engineering change management, it is nothing but the central logistic function that can be used to change various aspects of production basic data like BOM, task list, material and documents, etc., with the history, right? History could be dates with the effective old dates or depending on the specific conditions, right? So that's nothing but the engineering change management. Now coming to the production resource tooling, unlike our machines or fixed assets which are not very much stationary in nature, production resource tooling is nothing but all sort of tools or resources which is used to be mobilized within the production centers, right, or the production unit, right? So which can be repeatedly utilized, which can be repeatedly used, is nothing but the production resource tooling. Some of the examples of production resource toolings are like engineering drawings, fixtures, it could be tools, it could be measurement instruments, etc. right? So that was all about the master data in the production planning. Now coming to the next area of production planning, it is nothing but the planning area. What is this planning area? Planning area is nothing but the centralized data structure for demand planning and supply network planning, right? It is a centralized location within the manufacturing unit which is used for demand planning and the supply network planning, right? Now a plan book is something which is very much essential, which is created based on the planning area, and the end users will be aware of the plan book and they'll generally not be aware of the planning area, right? And some of the important components or itineraries of planning area are unit of measure in which data is planned, currency in which data is planned, currency conversion type for planning data in other currencies. It could be storage buckets profile that determines the bucket in which data is stored in this planning area. It could be assignment of key figures for aggregates, etc. So in simple, just to put it in short, planning area is nothing but the centralized location in the manufacturing facility where we plan for the demand and the supply, right? So that's nothing but the planning area. Now this planning area consists of several other components like sales and operation planning. Now what is this sales and operation planning? The main purpose of sales and operation planning is to provide the planning data to production by historical data and forecasted analysis of the market for a particular product group, spare parts, assemblies, etc., right? So we use SOPs, which is nothing but sales and operational planning, to streamline and consolidate our company sales and production operations. It is used for long-term and short-term planning. So then comes the demand management, right? So demand management is nothing but one of the important component in production planning, one of the important activity during production planning. It is performed by planned independent requirement, which we call it as PIR in short, and PIR provides input for production planning. So planning strategies are generally divided into two types. One is MTS and one is MTO. So what is MTS? MTS is nothing but make to stock and MTO is nothing but make to order, right? So these are the planning strategies which we use during the demand management. So what does MTS means? Which is nothing but make to stock. So it is one of the planning strategy where stock is produced without sales order. It is used to meet customer demands in the future, right? So that is nothing but the MTS. So the classic example of MTS or make to stock category planning strategies could be all your generic pharma products, right, which we don't require any specific sales order to be produced. It will be produced and it would be kept on shelf for the consumption and the further sale, right? So that's with respect to the MTS. Now coming back to the MTO, make to order, it is one of the another planning strategy which is used to convert our raw material into finished goods, where finished goods are not produced until we receive a sales order from the customer, right? So for MRP run, we consider only the sales order, which is very much essential, and on MTOs, that is make to orders, we only produce based on the sales order. Stock or products are delivered as per the sales order from the specific customer. So the classic example of this MTO based production planning strategy is let's assume a Royal Enfield bike where the delivery would be given only based on the customer request or only after the sales order is being created, right? So that's with respect to the demand management process. Now the third component of production planning area is material requirement planning run, right, or which is called as MRP run. MRP run or planning run is nothing but it is an engine which is used to fill demand and supply gap. Issues and receipts are called as MRP elements. Issues includes PIRs, dependent requirements, order reservation, sales orders, issuing stock transfer orders, etc. And receipts include production orders, purchase requisitions, purchase orders, open purchase orders, receiving stock transfer orders, scheduling lines, etc. So that was all about the material requirement planning run. Now coming to the material availability is nothing but one of the feature which is available or provided within the production planning module, which helps us to identify the availability of all the materials on shelf which is used for converting or manufacturing my raw material into semi-finished and finished goods, right? So some of the prerequisites of material availability are that we need to maintain plant maintenance configuration. Along with that, we also need to maintain material master data maintenance. So that's with respect to the material availability. Now coming to the capacity requirement planning only for the E items. E items is nothing but the internally produced or internally manufactured items, right? So CRT, coming to the CRT, it is nothing but to plan and deliver with the actual capacity without provisioning for excessive or low capacity for the set production output, right? So basically CRT or capacity requirement planning is nothing but to plan and provision for the respective capacity so that we don't over project the capacity required for producing certain output, neither we under project the capacity required for producing the certain kind of output, right? So that's with respect to the capacity requirement planning. Now coming to the third and one of the important component of production planning, after we maintain master data, once the planning area is being confirmed, then we move to the actual execution of the order, right? Which is also classified as shop floor control or order execution or the production order cycle. So generally, there are three types of production orders or production processes which can be executed. One is discrete manufacturing, other one is repetitive manufacturing, and the third one is process industries, right? So we spoke about MTOs and MTS, which is nothing but make to stock and make to order. It is very much related to what I just said, right? So discrete manufacturing is nothing but manufacturing of specific or specially requested product or an article. And then coming to the repetitive manufacturing, it is nothing but the manufacturing of more generic products without reference to any sales orders. And coming back to the process industries, all the chemical based industries, process oriented industries would follow the process related uh, production process, right? So that was three types of production processes. Generally, we execute under shop floor control or production order cycle. And to do this, we need to create and release certain production orders. So some of the important components of production orders or production execution or creation are creation of a planned order. Then we need to convert the planned order into a production order. Then we need to release the production order. Then we need to issue the goods for the production order. Then we need to confirm the production order, and finally the goods receipt will be done against the production order. We look into all of this in detail in the upcoming micro sessions of production planning, right? So that was all about the creation and the release strategy of production orders. So coming back to the material staging, what is material staging? Material staging is used to stage the materials from usage storage location to the production storage location, right? So in short, just to put it in simple, it is nothing but flow of goods or movement of goods within the warehouse, where there are several storage location of a plant are assigned to one warehouse number, right? So that was material staging. Now coming back to the stage comparison, it is nothing but comparing the material staging units and getting ready for the next batch, right? And then comes the final confirmation, right? So final confirmation is nothing but the final approval of all the manufacturing orders which are supposed to be created and which are entered in the SAP system. So this is nothing but the final confirmation which is required or data which is inputted in SAP system to go ahead and create the products which are supposed to be manufactured, right? So it is nothing but the final confirmation of a product. Then comes the TECO. TECO is nothing but technically complete. Once the final confirmation is being given into the SAP system, then the product goes ahead with the manufacturing process, and then the product gets created, and that becomes a technically completed product, right? So that was with respect to the TECO. Then comes the variance, order settlement, and archival or deletion of data, right? So from here, it is actually the finance process comes into picture. The integration with production planning and the finance is nothing but variance analysis, order settlement, and the archival of data. So what is this variance analysis? Variance is nothing but it is a report or an analysis made to compare between my actuals and the budgeted, right? Whatever it could be a budgeted hours, budgeted capacity, budgeted time budgeted value against my actuals, right? So that's a variance report or a variance analysis. And then comes the order settlement. So it is nothing but settling all my order related data from the raw material to the semi-finished goods, and from semi-finished goods to the actual finished goods, right? So generally we settle all the value or the component in the ways of cost object, and it will be settled from the raw material to the finished goods. And then comes the archival or the deletion of the data. So that was all about the finance process in production planning, right? So this was all about the production planning and the planning area and the shop floor control within the SAP module. Now moving to the next one, which is nothing but the accounting entries. So there are a couple of entries which we maintain while production planning in SAP. The first finance entry would be raw material consumption account debit and raw material account. As soon as the raw material is consumed to convert it to our finished goods, then we post an entry which is nothing but raw material consumption account is debited, and raw material, since raw material is getting reduced from the your actual shelf or inventory or the storage, then raw material is credited. So this becomes a actual entry where raw material consumption account would be debited and raw material account would be credited. So the subsequent CO or the controlling entry would be production order account debit and production cost center account would be credited, right? So this was the accounting entries with respect to the production plan. So in the upcoming session, I'll be taking you all through the extended warehouse management. So that's it for today. Thank you all for watching the video. Take care until we meet next time. Thank you all.